we have a collective failure here as the people, right? And let me actually give some context to all of this conversation here. So if you actually look at some of the data and the statistics, about 40% of Ghana's total gold output comes from these small-scale mines, right? And when you look at the small-scale mines themselves, around about 70%, so basically 7 in 10 of them are not licensed. So probably only about, a third are licensed, and even those that are licensed, we don't know whether they're doing things like properly, because some of them would get a license and still do the tampons and all the other things that we're talking about in terms of destroying, the water bodies. And then when you look at the data on the gold exports, so forget about the Ghana export data, but look at data from places like UAE, Dubai, and those other places. And it tells you very clearly, right, that, for example, the illegal gold that is leaving Ghana, more or less is about $2 to $2.5 billion. So we're dealing with the size of an industry that is almost worth as much as the cocoa sector brings to us, or as much as the oil sector brings to us 2 years in a row. And what that fundamentally means is that you can't just send 100 soldiers into the bush to more or less fight it, because it's not going to work. It's like dealing with, organized crime, the people that push cocaine, the people that push, all these things there. They are armed. There are people funding it. And so the response side solution to it is got to be radically different. And I'll come to talk about that in a moment. But the point is that the Galamsey, for me, and I like to make this very clearly, is one of the major policy failures of this current administration. And why I say that is, you can go back. The president even put his own presidency on the line over this, isn't it? There's a Twitter post you can check on the president's own page, 6:29 p.m., July 11, 2017. And it goes down and says, I am prepared to put my presidency on the line in the fight against Galamsey. And we saw some successes in the early days of the administration. Remember when John Amewu was the minister, and they were doing some raids here and there, and we saw, right, the waters relatively getting, cleaner.
That's right.
And then we went back to sleep, right? We all went back to sleep again. But part of the thing is that the Galamsey issues, and I think Rosalie mentioned this, it is tied also to the price of gold on the global market, right? You can do a search of the time Galamsey issues come up versus the gold price, and you see a strong correlation, right? Where, for example, this year alone, because gold prices on the global market is actually up 30% as compared to last year, everybody wants to get into a piece of the action. And even the production data coming from the small-scale mining sector in Ghana, there's a report on Reuters this morning that says that small-scale mines could produce 1.2 million ounces of gold in the first 7 years of this year alone, first 7 months of this year alone. And this is more than all of 2023 production combined, because the gold price is up.